What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today is July the 3rd. I want to give you a quick pre-market update, go over some of the hot movers and where big money is gravitating towards today. Before we get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. Starting off with data points. Initial jobless claims just came in a little bit higher than anticipated, so not necessarily the best information, and the market is reacting accordingly to that, not inverse as what it kind of on and off has done. ADP non-farm employment though has and is a little bit lower than the forecast, so 150 versus 160. So right now the market's kind of trying to digest both. But at the same time, later today, you do have this coming out. So FOMC meeting minutes, and no doubtably that's going to cause a lot of volatility. But in the after hours, only because, as you can kind of see, it does come out at 2 o'clock right here. And the market does close early in lieu of Independence Day. And then, of course, tomorrow's close as well. So it's going to have a lot of people digesting that information for basically a day and a half. So it's going to be a unique circumstance. And oddly enough, despite everything that's been coming out, you do see the fear and greed index creeping higher. So it is at 50 under the neutral category. So people's appetite for risk has been increasing, and that's very apparent based on the last couple trading days. So yeah, moving on, SOFI. SOFI right now has been having a nice recovery. No news, no SEC filings, as you can kind of see. So it's just been merely piggybacking off of the broader market. Short's been really manipulating it. So yesterday it was very active, and I have no idea why Ortex does this. I prep all of my videos to ensure that everything runs smoothly, and then Ortex just screws me over. But anyways, okay, there you go. So 18.2% of the free float is being shorted. I have no idea what's going on, but 189 million shares overall are being shorted, utilization 68.5. Shorts have been rather timid, and over the last day and a bit, they did return quite a lot of shares. So it's kind of breaking this trend right here. So that's always a fairly positive thing, as you can kind of see. Right now, though, a couple points to watch for with it at $6.48. It is trading between these 2 points for this S1 and the pivot. So 628 is going to be that next strong support, and it was tested yesterday and it held up like a champ. On the flip side, $6.75 is going to be the next strong resistance point. Very wide gap, so anticipate a lot of volatility in the foreseeable future with SOFI, but at the same time, 650 is going to be more of a artificial resistance point as what it typically has been, and that is brought on because of options. So again, something to kind of consider. Moving on, Tesla is up, piggybacking off of the news that they put out yesterday. Tesla seems to be a crazy champ, and you do see a rotation. So NVDA, oddly, just on a spoiler alert, I'm not bringing it up today because nobody's really getting into it. Like, the volume is a lot lower than the norm, and Tesla seems to be getting that attention. So I don't know. A lot of people have been just criticizing Tesla for being part of the Mag 7, but just the disabled uncle or something like that. This is like, it's making up for it. So yeah, this is definitely a good thing. I'll move on to Ortex, skipping Ortex. Right now with it at 233 and change though, it is trading between this pivot and this R1. So 216 is that very strong support, and then 291 is going to be that next strong resistance / target. Similar to SOFI, very wide gaps. Plus, I'm actually looking at the 1 week. Right now it's above the 1 day, all the key levels. So these are very strong support and resistance points. So in theory, like, it could have a very nice continuation of a run, especially if, for instance, a lot of big money is keeping at this pace and getting into Tesla. Then yeah, bigger and better things might be coming down the pipeline. I'll give it one last chance, and Ortex is down and out today. So moving on, tickers DOYU. This one, they just announced a cash dividend, a special cash dividend of $9.76. So this is where it's a unique circumstance, and you can kind of tell what is valued, what isn't, and it looks like this was announced today. So yesterday it did go up 9.19%. This morning it is up 29.31%. In theory, whenever a company does a dividend of sorts, the stock price goes down in relation to that. So what happens is, I think there's just a little bit of FOMO kicking in. In theory, no stock should ever go up in this circumstance, only because this is going to be coming directly from their bottom line, right? So if you think about it, with it going up $3.62, that just shows that people are willing to pay $3.62 to receive this dividend. Kind of backwards if you ask me. So yeah, it's one of those unique circumstances. So just tread cautiously. Don't buy this hype, because nothing fundamentally has changed from the operations from yesterday to today, but people are willing to pay $3.62 a little bit more. So once again, kind of do your own due diligence at the end of the day. So right now with it at $16.19, it is trading between this pivot and this R1. So 12.57 is going to be the next strong support, which conveniently that's where it landed yesterday. And then $17.99 is going to be that next strong resistance / target. So yeah, definitely with this one, tread cautiously. But moving on from here though, next company is VTRS, if I'm saying that right. I probably butchered their name, but ticker is VTRS. It is down slightly because of this news right here, but a lot of volume is getting in on it. So this is why I did make this list. I'm not really aware of their day-to-day operations, but this news clearly isn't all that great. Again, you guys do your own due diligence, dive deep into that a little bit more. But typically, as I've said, biotechs, pharmaceuticals aren't really my forte, so that news kind of went over my head a little bit. But this is what they do. Company profile, 33,000 employees, so definitely not a small company. To 12.42 billion. So no doubtably that's why a lot of volume is getting in. Right now with it at $10.45, so it looks like it's actually creeping up a little bit more. It is trading between this S1 and the pivot. So $10.11 is going to be the next strong support, and then $10.50 is going to be that next strong resistance / target. So once again, kind of dive deep into this news. Possibly it might be justifying of a kind of a push higher, because I think based on at least where it's oriented, there's more upside than down. So if it does get above this 1050, then this is where it'll trade between this pivot and this R1. So a little bit higher highs might be anticipated, but we'll just have to wait and see. Last but not least is NIO is up 1.43%. No actual news from NIO itself, no SEC filings, so it is just kind of merely piggybacking off of the EV hype, and that is largely because of Tesla. Even Lucid, many stocks are going up, and you can kind of see that right here. This is all from yesterday. So Lucid went up 4.17% despite having no news. Rivian went up. They did put out their numbers as well, so that's kind of somewhat justifying. Polestar is just that similar other grumpy uncle in the family or whatever. But right now with it at $4.60, it is right below this pivot point. So just watch for it to kind of flirt with this 464 throughout the day. If it does fail, then this is where you could see a further low, because that's what typically does happen. Whenever a stock does fail to get above a very key support or resistance, it works both ways. It usually does cause some consolidation. So definitely watch for it to get above this pivot point and stay above there. And if so, then this is where you could see a nice kind of change in their technicals, and have it to hopefully get within that $5 range. So let me know your thoughts on all of these stocks. Hopefully you guys have a good day, and good, I guess, leading into 4th of July to all the Americans out there. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that, and take advantage of this promo. Simply sign up for a new account, throw $100 at it, and they give you 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. Kick-ass deal. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.